So what's the difference between doing barbell, lever arm, or dumbbell shoulder press? It all depends on the grip you use. So a neutral grip is like this versus a pronated grip is like this. As you can see, a pronated grip tends to flare the elbow out, although when you hold a barbell, you can bring the elbows in a little bit. You want to bring the elbows in when you're doing a pressing motion like this. If you ever watch an Olympic lifter, when they jerk, their elbows are always in. Having the elbows out and doing a press over time will damage the shoulder or irritate the shoulder because you're stressing the AC joint versus right here, much better. Also safer for your rotator cuff muscle. This is why I like doing dumbbells or the neutral grip with the lever arm here. Occasionally I will do barbell, but very rarely. So that is the reason why I like to do neutral grip pressing motions. Today we're doing shoulders and triceps. So the primary lift for the triceps will be floor press. These are a great strength and power movement for your triceps. It's similar to board presses, if you've ever seen people put boards on their chest, because the boards stop you from going all the way down. Since the floor, in this instance for a floor press, prevents you from coming all the way down like a bench press, you're not shortening the chest or the pec muscle as much, but you are shortening the tricep. So you're emphasizing the tricep movement. Also, you can do it with a close grip. And to get even more tricep, you do a 1 second or 2 second pause. This takes out the rebound or the stretch effect. So you pause, and therefore it's pretty much majority tricep. Again, keep the elbows close to your side, just like with the shoulder press. And you're just driving up, push towards your feet. It will also work your shoulders a little bit, and since we are doing shoulders and tricep, this is the reason why we're using the floor press as our primary tricep movement. It's easy to make gains when you first start working out, but once you've been lifting for 6 months to a year, strength and hypertrophy gains are much slower. So something I would recommend are change plates, or these very small ones. This one's 1.25 pounds. They make them much smaller than this and lighter. Before I had a home gym, I had these and would just take them to the gym with me because every pound or even half a pound matters. And over time, those half a pounds add up. So I'll be adding this for this set to go from 180 to 182 and a half. And to make improvements, you don't have to use weight. You could do more reps. So instead of doing 5 reps, I could have stuck with the 180 and maybe try to do 6 reps for these last 3 sets. Or a longer pause, or a shorter rest break. So there's all different ways to make improvements. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, is work out to get healthier, to get stronger, or bigger, or leaner, whatever your goal is. But if you write it down and track your progress, like what I do with these vlogs, it motivates you because you can see the progress. Sometimes we forget what progress we've made, and it kind of gets boring. So always having a goal in mind or a target kind of keeps you motivated. For these, stick around 1.5 minute to 2 minute rest break. You don't want to be fully recovered because for this program, it's focusing more on hypertrophy or muscle growth. And so you don't want to be fully recovered. That would be more for a strength program. instead of pulling up like this, we are going out like that, leading with the elbows. So the elbow is what's leading the motion, not the forearm. Shoulders back, elbows out, elbows up. Like that. Versus that motion. This is what we want. Side delt. It's kind of like a lateral raise. You see the elbows are the things that are leading first. So the side deltoid, like a chicken wing. With the upright rows, the focus is not pulling like this, but pulling with the shoulders like this, because we're working on our delts. We're not trying to focus on the traps. And since I strained my trap earlier with the lever arm press, I'm having to go really slow. Otherwise it's probably gonna tear it a little bit more. So just focus nice and slow reps and you'll feel it in your side delt. You shouldn't really feel too much in the trap. Once you bring it above 90, then the traps start to kick in. Anytime the humerus goes above 90, that's when the traps start to fire. But below 90, it's usually mostly just deltoids. So that's what we're focusing on. So that's why we're not going super high with the upright row. With the dips, if you can't do it with your feet up, feet on the ground is easier. This would be harder. Low step, harder. 90 degrees, harder. Up here would be the hardest. Also, hand placement, wide versus narrow. Narrow will stretch your deltoid more, obviously, because you're coming back versus like that. People with tight shoulders would probably have to go wide. And push the For tricep dips, for some people it can bother the shoulder, especially the AC joint, because all the strain you're putting on that. If it does bother your shoulder, I wouldn't do it. There's a lot of different other exercises that you can do out there. It is a good shoulder stretch though. As you can see, it really extends the shoulder when you do it. Make sure you have good shoulder range of motion. I'm not going to use any weight. Thought about using weight, but instead just went really slow. Haven't done these in many, many months, so I don't want to aggravate anything. You can still get a good pump just by going slow and really contracting the tricep hard at the top. All right, next will be tricep overhead extension. It'll hit the long head of the tricep as well as the other ones because it's a maximal shoulder flexion. Supersetted with rear, low to high, rear delt extension. So the tricep, the long head does humeral or shoulder extension. So since we're doing triceps first, the tricep should be pre-exhausted and pretty fatigued, so then it can't really assist with doing this motion, because usually you'll start out with the elbow slightly bent, and as you get tired, you're going to try to use your tricep, and the shoulder will extend using the tricep, and the long head that crosses the shoulder joint will also help bring it back into extension. But we want to just hit the rear delt, maybe some teres minor with a little external rotation in there. So by doing the overhead tricep extension first, the tricep should be pretty exhausted, and then the only thing that's really going to be able to do this is the rear delt and also some scapular adductors like the rhomboids. So that's why this is done in this order. There's always a specific order and a reason why we do exercises. So here's how it goes. Overhead extension, and again, you don't want to flare the elbow out, just like with anything. That tends to be the common theme. Elbow flaring out is always bad for bench press, shoulder press, as we demonstrated earlier, and again for tricep overhead extension, because it puts the elbow under greater stress, so you can get things like cubital tunnel or medial epicondylitis, etc. So you want the elbow to try to be forward if you can. Of course, when you have muscle mass, which most people do who work out, it's impossible to get it all the way forward. Even at rest, it still comes out a little bit, which is okay. High, it's kind of like a TNF exercise. If you're a physical therapist, you know what that is. Try to concentrate on using the rear delt here to bring that weight up and back. Try to keep a little bend in the elbow the whole time. That reduces tricep assistance. Come up like this. Right there. This one should definitely blow up your shoulders. We're going to do super high reps probably over 50, hopefully. Max reps at 20 pounds within 2 minutes. So max reps in 2 minutes of side laterals. Should hurt. 45, 10. You want to get a full stretch all the way behind you. Full deltoid stretch.